But Chivame, are you worried that Peter Obi might not be able to replicate the numbers that he garnered in the 2023 election if he is on the ballot in 2027?
We are not just running election and just making speculation out of the blues. We also carry out that, we also collect data. We do a lot of engagement. I just came back from a journey, I told you. So these are the things we do behind closed door. And we know what is there. And we know that the only person that this government does not want to be on the ballot is Peter Obi. They are doing everything.
So Peter Obi can defeat Bola Tinubu?
Go and count how many times Bayo Ononuga has posted about Peter Obi on his Twitter page.
What does that mean?
He's worried. He's worried about Peter Obi. They are worried. They don't talk anything without talking about Peter Obi.
If Atiku Abubakar, you think Tinubu is not afraid of Atiku Abubakar?
He's not.
He's not afraid of Rotimi Amechi? He's not afraid. He's the only person Tinubu is afraid of is Peter Obi.
He's on record. They know it. There's a high level of fear.
If Peter Obi goes head to head with Bola Tinubu, you think Peter Obi will beat Bola Tinubu?
We got into this democracy in 1999. The APC did everything to defeat Bola Tinubu in Lagos. They couldn't. They did everything. They brought federal might, they brought resources, they brought connection. They could not. It took the Peter Obi to garner about 1 million votes that was reduced to 500,000 votes. It took a Peter Obi to come to FCT when there was seat of power to defeat the Tinubu. It took a Peter Obi, go and watch a Premium Times report. But
there are feelers that the only viable option to be able to defeat Bola Tinubu or the APC is to unite. Have a formidable force that coming together. They coming together of the opposition forces to come together to battle against Bola Tinubu. If not, there's no way. That those who are of that opinion.
I speak for myself, and Peter Obi himself knows, even as much as we have argued about these things, and he knows my opinion, and I've never been shy of saying my opinion. I don't think that is the situation. I think that we must have a proper opposition meeting where it's properly organized and towards having a candidate that is acceptable by the people. We can't just decide on our own that we are going to force something through the truth of those who are going to vote for us, because whether you like it or you don't want to believe it, is in power. So you can't come and bring somebody that will not be able to excite the young population, that will not be able to excite the electorate to go to the polls and vote.
Does Peter Obi excite the younger population?
People are injured. I saw in Lagos where a lady got her eye, almost removed, and she went back after treatment to go and vote.
You think that will be replicated in 2027?
It will go more than that. People are disappointed, no doubt. I saw a lot of people disappointed because they saw the vote being stolen, they saw the mandate disappeared, they saw a lot of things happen, they saw the glitches that are unexplained in today.
APC has garnered more states.
It has never been like that. In 2019, when Peter contested, as a vice president candidate, he defeated everybody in the Southeast. He got the vote. But when they tried it with Okowa in 2023, with APC, with the PDP, they couldn't get the Southeast. They couldn't get the South side. Don't forget, in 2023 election, Okowa was the vice president candidate of the PDP in the Delta. Peter scored over 80-something% of the vote in Delta. It is not, elections have changed, the dynamics have changed, the system have changed. Before we used to talk, I was happening in police, you know me. We used to sit in a room and say that, you have a councillor here, you will bring 4 votes. You have a governor here, you will bring this vote. It's not like that again. We have more young people who are more enlightened. What we had before were older people who believe in the same procedure, the same style of playing game, and they do a bad wagon effect. But there are young people today that will not put their vote except they are convinced. There are young people today.
But this feeling that if Atiku and Peter Obi join forces, they will be able to defeat anyone.
We have been joining forces. We are joining forces right now. That is the essence of the coalition.
So if Peter Obi becomes the vice presidential candidate for Atiku Abubakar in 2027, you don't think that will solve the problem?
I don't believe so. A lot of people believe that, and I'm not excited about it. For me, I think we should all continue to pursue our idea of a better Nigeria, and that person that that I feel is perfectly suited for that position is Peter Obi, and I think that. I've known Peter Obi for a long time. And one thing I know about him is his prudent nature. I think one of the greatest challenge we face in government today is the waste in our government. I told you about the kind of money being spent. The Nigerian National Petroleum company of Nigeria spent 30 billion naira on entertainment. 30 billion naira on entertainment. Just to drink tea and water. And nobody's accounting, nobody's being held responsible for that. I saw the audit report. We're talking about 17.5 trillion naira for pipeline security. We're talking about 7.5 trillion for subsidy in 2024 when we had the 2023 budget that shouldn't even carry anything like subsidy. So these are challenges that were clear. You say you are putting money in this thing. There's no mitigating factor for the removal of subsidy. Today, people look for money. People earn 100,000 naira in 2023. We're able to work and go to work. Because of those impulsive decisions, I'm telling you, inflation has deeply eaten out into the pocket of these young Nigerians and have made them to become underemployed. They're no longer employed. They go to work, but they're underemployed, and they suffer the consequences of that decision of the president. You go and try the cost of transportation from Masaka to Abuja today. It is mind-blowing. So anybody who works within that range, it's not because they are not well paid. It is because a government policy destroyed their earnings.
So in your mind, Peter Obi is the Messiah that we all should wait for.
As a Christian, I don't want to use Messiah, but I think he's the right person. And I'm very sure, I'm convinced. There's nothing hard. I will want to be in government. I have friends who have called me that please go and meet this person. I have friends who have senior people I've worked with, before. I want to mention who are senior men in the APC. But I am convinced for the purpose of public and prudent management of our public resources, Peter Obi is the best person. Because if we go by cost-cutting measures and we reduce the cost of governance, I am telling you, we'll be able to save enough money to improve on our healthcare, to improve on infrastructure about our road, to improve infrastructure about how we manage our institution. We have wasted a lot of resources in doing nothing, and we are not moving because we continue to have motion without movement. So much money being spent, much budget being appropriated.
You so much believe in Peter Obi, but someone like Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, doesn't think that the effort or the performance of Peter Obi in Anambra State when he was governor is anything to write home about. That record, he doesn't think is enough to be able to hand over the affairs of this country into the hands of a Peter Obi.
When he decided behaving like that? When? Of recent. Because there are videos of him going to commission project with Peter Obi in Anambra, where he was praising Peter Obi for being the most prudent governor, the most successful governor in the history of our country. There are videos. Those videos are there. So when did it change? Is it after the Premium Times report and the expose of the BBC about the election in Rivers State that were manipulated in favor of Tinubu in the state? Is it after that? Because I don't know when it changed. I don't know when his decision about
But his view is that in the 8 years of running the affairs of Anambra State, Peter Obi kept state funds in the bank instead of investing in infrastructure, and therefore lacks the moral standing to criticize other people.
That's why Nigeria is not saving for the future. There was a time we wanted to have a national, they call it, it's skipping my head now, the fund that we're supposed to save at the time during Obasanjo-Wela, Nigeria's Sovereign Wealth Fund or something, and the governors went against it. This money is supposed to be saved for future generation and be able to cushion whatever external shock that comes to affect the country. What Peter Obi was doing was to increase the credit rating of the state, and that is what you do. Nobody keeps the money that he could steal. Every government who want to leave, they steal money. You can't keep money in the bank account when you know you have the capacity to steal the money. And don't forget, if you go to just suppose the budget of that time, when governors were maybe in Anambra, were barely receiving 2.5 billion per month as monthly allocation, 2.5, 2.3, or 3 billion. Today, look at what governors are getting. And there's no accountability. Look at what people got. People like him got from derivation money, where they got extra money. What did they do in their state? There's nothing. So, but in Anambra, if you go back to look at the budget, you will discover that the man was almost earning like 2 billion, 3 billion from FAC on a monthly basis. And that was a fresh point in trying to develop the internal revenue architecture of the state. So at that foundation level, you have to build for the next people.
On a final note, what do you see for Nigeria, especially in the politics of 2027 at its building? In the next few months, we are actively going to get into that politics.
I see brighter future, and I think that the population of Nigerian voter today and the demographic have changed, to be able to drive a new course for our people. We need to have a Nigeria that is solely driven on the basis of merit, credibility, competence and capacity, and these are the things I see in Peter Obi. And for that kind of future for our country, we'll be able to develop a country that will be the envy of many countries, many foreigners, and many of our admirers who have also changed their mind. Look at the story of Rwanda. Today they are running a Rwanda program, and it's generating a lot of. The capital city is the cleanest in Africa. They have the one of the highest level of women inclusive participation in governance, about 63%. So we can change our story with proper leadership, with proper focus. Because what we lack today, we're running our government on impulse. You wake up today, the president said this is what you want to do. We have no long-term, medium-term, and short-term national plan. None of that we don't have.